Hello and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for you. Oh my goodness. So, tools to honor the universe. Yeah, so I actually might have spoke about this briefly in the previous show about the private jet, because this is where it actually showed up for me, or the first time I've been willing to be aware of it. Now, let me first say, what is honor? What does that mean? So to honor is to treat with regard, which means you're aware of. You're not forcing, you're not pushing, you're not making something happen that wouldn't create greater. I guess that's the best way, but really to treat with regard. So in Access Consciousness, where the tools that I share are from, is this elements, what we call elements of intimacy, where there's honor, trust, allowance, gratitude, and vulnerability. Those are the 5 elements of intimacy. If you ever attend a foundation, and if you haven't, actually even if you have, and you haven't been to one in a while, hashtag get your butt to foundation. But we talk about this in foundation, and I'm excited to say that I've got an Access Consciousness approved class starting October 6th called The Elements of Intimacy with Your Body. Yes, we're going to include our sweet bodies. Like imagine having allowance for, being grateful for, trusting, honoring, and being vulnerable with your body. So come and join us. There's going to be a link somewhere. If you can't find it, just email me or message me or smoke signal me and I will find it for you. So how this showed up was whenever it was, end of July, early August, I had one of you beautiful listeners message me. I had talked on a show yet again about a private jet. And when they messaged me, they said, hey, I've got a friend who works with people who would like to fly on private jets. Do you want me to connect the two of you? And my first thought, was, no, I could never afford. I can't talk to somebody who I couldn't afford to buy a $100,000 ride on a jet plane. And that was my first reaction. And then I'm so freaking grateful because then I went, wait, that is not honoring the universe. So to treat with regard the universe would mean I would actually ask a question. So here's the other thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that I would actually have that conversation with the person that the listener was talking about. It's actually going to a question. So one of the tools to honor the universe is ask a question. In fact, take it even further than that and be the question. Oh, wow, that brought up a lot of energy for some reason. So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD POC, shorts, boys, meons. If you're new here, that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com for more about how it works, but it works like a magic wand. When there's a lot of energy on something, it's usually a lot of interesting points of views and defenses and fights and, oh, I can't, and all that insanity. So when we run it, it gives us more space to be us. So in that moment when I recognized that I was not honoring the universe because I'd been asking. So I had been asking for to have a private jet, to fly on a private jet. And suddenly the possibility shows up and then I shut it down. So that's a dishonoring. And the other thing I want to say here is that when I talk about the universe, guys, we are the universe. As Dr. Dane recently said on one of his calls, and I still chuckle about it, is the universe starts with you. But he didn't mean it literally. So when I talk about the universe, I mean the universe, us. Like I'm part of the universe, you're part of the universe, this chair is a part of the universe, pollution is part of the universe, like everything. So when I talk about honoring the universe, that includes you. That includes you. So when you're in a situation, no matter what the situation, be the question. So we're taught pretty much right from the moment we're born, and definitely by the time we go to school, we're taught to be the answer. And not only just the answer, but actually be the right answer. Yeah. So, time to change that, my sweet friends, and really recognize that it's being the question that will invite you to more possibilities than you never imagined possible. So in that case, I asked the question, truth, would saying yes to the listener who had offered to connect me with her friend create the future I desire or decay the future I desire? I got that it would create the future. It was very, very light when I asked that question. So I responded back to the person, yes, I would love to connect with them. Now, the really cool thing that occurred, and who knows, because I did connect with them, they're amazing, was such a magical conversation that invited me to way, way more. And what else occurred is as I was typing back to the listener that, yes, I would love to connect with them, I remembered something from 2 years earlier where a Facebook friend, another listener, had posted about a free jet that was flying empty and did anybody want to fly to, I can't remember where it was flying, but somewhere. And I was going, hubby and I were going to England that weekend, that same weekend, so I couldn't take it, but I even screenshot it because I was so like, this occurs? This happens? What? And so then I forgot about it until that moment of responding back to the person to connect me and her friend. That's when I remembered. And then I reached out to that woman who originally posted that thing from 2 years ago. And that was, what created that private jet ride. I don't know. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's like, by honoring the universe, by treating with regard, by being willing to ask the question, that opened up a whole new set of possibilities beyond what I could have ever imagined possible. And honestly, it invited me. Now, if you haven't listened to last week's show, which was tools to receive a private jet, which was really tools to receive more than you're willing, but I had to call it that because it was fun. I would go listen to that if you want more about this whole process for me. But it opened me up truly to a level of receiving I'd never been willing to receive before. So how does it get any better than that? And the first step was honoring the universe. It was honoring myself, honoring the universe, honoring everything by asking a question. So in your everyday life, look at everything that's going on. Now, that might seem really overwhelming and too much. So what if you just take one area of your life? Like if you're struggling with money right now, what if you choose from this moment forward to always be the question with regards to money? Maybe even just the next hour to be the question with regards to money. Like that is an honoring of you like nothing else. And that will open up more possibilities and you'll have more awarenesses with regards to that than anything else. So being the question is tool number one. And I change it from asking the question to being the question because that's ultimately the target, is to be the question. If you're willing to be the question, every possibility that's available you will be aware of. You'll also, with that, be aware of the one or ones to choose that would create greater. Yeah. Now, let's just take this for a moment to the elements of intimacy with your body and honoring your body. And that tool, being the question with your body. Just get a sense of what that does for your sweet body. Like how much more space there is in that moment. Because if you're willing to be the question with your body, then your body gets to have a voice. Yeah, and what's more honoring than giving your body a voice? Letting your body choose what clothes it would like to wear, what food it would like to eat, who it would like to eat, like all the things that have to do 100% with your body Imagine honoring your body enough to let your body choose. Yeah, okay. So tool number 1, be the question. Tool number 2, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. I've said it before, I'll say it again, sprinkle that shit on everything. On everything, my sweet friends. Because if you're truly honoring the universe, honoring you, honoring your body, honoring your partner, whoever, whatever, if you're willing to honor, there is no room for judgment. The minute you judge, you are dishonoring. Doesn't matter if you're judging you or someone else or something else, you are dishonoring. Yeah. So everywhere it's been more valuable to dishonor the universe than to honor the universe. Will you destroy and uncreate all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And so the tool of interesting point of view is the tool to get out of judgment. It is the quickest, most magical way to get out of judgment than anything else I have ever used. And believe me, I have used a lot of tools. And this one is the most magical when you are being judgmental of any kind. So let's do this together. Right now, bring to mind maybe something with your body that you usually judge. Maybe it's the size of something, the color of something to do with your body. Just bring to mind something that you judge. And let's together, you can do this out loud or in your mind, doesn't matter. Okay, bring that energy up. It's probably going to feel icky and heavy because it's a judgment, and that's what judgment is. It's a lie. But together, interesting points of view, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. Interesting points of views, we have these points of views. So that is the quickest way. And normally it takes 3 to 5 times of saying it. And again, same with being the question. It's really about being interesting point of view. It's being the energy of no point of view. And by saying interesting point of view, I have that point of view over and over, it'll get you there. And it can create so much magic because when you're not judging, then anything is possible. Let me say that again. When you are not judging, anything is possible. So everywhere that you've used judgment to ensure you aren't aware of all the possibilities, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. So the more that you be interesting point of view in every area of your life, guys, you will create and actualize as if by magic. Things, people, possibilities, everything you're asking for can start to show up because you're not limiting it with the point of view that it can't. Because let's say, like me, you were asking for something that felt really, really big for you. So for me, asking for a private jet felt way too big. One, because I only saw it through the eyes of paying for it. But the other funny thing is, I didn't even know what it cost. Like, I knew it probably was a lot, but I'd never even asked anybody. I'd never even considered what the price was. So when I was looking at it and was asking for the private jet, it was so big, but then there was all these points of views that made it so big. So the more that I could be interesting point of view about it, the more ease it was to show up, and then showed up in a way beyond what I never imagined possible. So this is another piece, guys, that I know I talk about a lot, and I really, really like take a note here, burn this into your mind, whatever you need to do. What else is possible that I never even considered. Now, asking it that way allows the universe, including you, to deliver it in a way that you never even considered, you never imagined possible, however you want to end it. But ask that, because what happens when we say often, not all the time, but often when we say, okay, well, what else is possible here? The minute we ask that, we have all of these like, oh, well, there's this possible, and there's this possible, and there's this possible, and there's this possible. So we still have a bunch of limitations because we've decided what is possible. So when we ask, being the question again, what else is possible here that I've never even considered? We go beyond what we've already decided is possible or what else is possible into truly what else is possible I've never even considered. And that really allows the universe to deliver it in ways that are so magical to us, that really light us up. And that was such a gift of starting with the Access tools, because prior to Access, so I started playing with the tools in 2011, 10 years, my goodness, how does it get any better than that? So I started playing with them 10 years ago. And at the time, I was previous to that, I was playing with other modalities. One of them was the law of attraction. And that one I was using a lot. And I was actually actualizing quite a bit of things I was asking for. The weird thing that would occur is that I would receive them and there would be nothing exciting about it. There'd be like this kind of thud of energy, like, okay, cool. Awesome, I got exactly what I asked for. And then I had a whole bunch of judgment of me because that's not being grateful, that's being unkind. What's wrong with me? Why can't I be happy with what? Oh, so much insanity, guys. And really, once I started asking and being the question of what else is possible I've never even considered, oh, that's where the magic was, because private jets can show up as a gift. All the things. I mean, I have so many stories, pretty much. If you listen to my radio shows that have been going on weekly since 2013, you've heard me talk about many, many, many #AsIfByMagic stories. And that is the energy of it beyond what I never imagined possible. So every day, all day, no matter if things are going magically or things are going crappy or anything in between, what else is possible here that I've never even considered? Now, let's take a moment and do this together, okay? So, what I would like you to think about is something that you would like, something, whether it's a change with your body, whether it's a new car, whether it's a new lover, 10 new lovers, whatever it is. Just take a moment right now and just bring up that ask, that energy of what you would like. If you don't have a clear ask, then bring up that area. So let's say you know you'd like more money, but you're not really sure. So then just bring up your money, the money area of your life. If it's a business thing, just bring up the business, okay? So just bring up that energy right now. And then again, say this out loud or in your mind with me. Just bring up the energy, or the area of your life, or the ask. What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? Yeah. Now, put that as a reminder on your phone or sticky note, or wear elastic around your wrist, whatever you need to do. But be that question at least once an hour, if not 10 times an hour. Because the more that you be that question, and now we did it specifically with something, you don't have to. You can actually just be driving to work, not thinking about anything in particular, and be that question over and over and over. Or you could be, maybe just watched a news program or something that you're starting to stress about. I mean, there's so much insanity on the planet right now, and you could be that. Just be aware of that insanity. What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? What else is possible with this that I've never even considered? And that will gift you so much more. Okay, so tip number 3. It's a big one for people. Acknowledge you. That is one of the greatest ways to honor the universe. Because again, you're the universe. So it's honoring of you to acknowledge what is true about you constantly. Now, you don't need to tell anybody else. You don't need to post it on social media unless you want to. It really is just for you, just for fun. Never tell anyone unless you'd like to. But it's just recognizing that to honor you is to tell you, is to acknowledge the magic that you be, to acknowledge the possibilities that you be, to acknowledge the change that you be, to acknowledge what you're choosing now. And you can look back and you can look at a year ago or even a week ago and go, wow, look what I'm choosing now. And what I always suggest to people is to have a note on their phone or a notebook in their purse or their back pocket and carry it with you all day long and start jotting down the things you could be acknowledging, because it's so easy to forget them. It's so easy at the end of the day to be stressed about something that you forget all the magic that you be. So if you just jot them down, then you can refer to them when it's required. But it's a huge tool to acknowledge you as an honoring of you, of the universe. Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD POC, shorts, boys, beyonds. Now, you might think you have nothing to acknowledge. You're nothing, you've created nothing, you're crap, whatever insanity is going on. Just destroy and uncreate that, guys. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. There's always something to acknowledge about you. There's always something. Now, the other piece, you don't have to only acknowledge the good stuff. You know, what if we don't judge? What if we acknowledge that we were cranky with our kids this morning? What if we acknowledge that we should have went to bed earlier, if that's true? Like, what if you actually acknowledge everything? It's not about judging the good and the bad, the right and the wrong. It's about acknowledging. Acknowledgizing, we call it in Access, which is not a correct grammatical word. It is just the energy of it. It's acknowledgize. It's the action where you, like in the action of acknowledging, you are acknowledgizing you. Yeah. And so if you didn't judge, remember, judging is not honoring. If you are willing to honor you and acknowledgize you, then what if you just put down whatever's there in that moment? The other thing is, let's say that you were cranky with your kids and you acknowledge it. Guess what? You're going to be more willing tomorrow morning to be interesting point of view, or to at least be present with what you're choosing. Because a lot of times that whole guilt thing, say being cranky with your kids, you don't actually acknowledge it in the moment. You do it later and you then utilize that energy against you. But if you're willing to acknowledgize it, then tomorrow you're going to have way more awareness if you're choosing it, and you'll be able to change it way quicker. So really acknowledgizing you is acknowledgizing it all. Acknowledgizing it all, the good, I'm going to rephrase that. What you would judge as the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't mean it's good, bad, and ugly, because it's not. That takes judgment. Remember, we're not judging anymore because we're willing to honor ourselves. We're willing to honor the universe. Yeah. So everything that is, everywhere you haven't been willing to acknowledgize what you judge as the good, the bad, and the ugly about you, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And truly, what magic could be possible if you acknowledgized you, if you were honoring of you, of what is true for you, of what you're actually choosing. And maybe there's some things you'd like to change. If you honored that all and you acknowledged it all, what magic could you create then? Yeah. So anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, 𝗵𝗁, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yes. So what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you and your body be to be the honoring of you, the universe, that you truly be? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, way to store and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, 𝗵𝗁, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Have a fabulous week, sweet friends, and I look forward to chatting again next week.